It is in the coronavirus outbreak right now. There is a state of emergency in California where the first death has been reported in that state. California's governor says the victim was an elderly man likely exposed to the virus while traveling internationally on the Grand Princess cruise ship last month. That trip is between San Francisco and Mexico. Health officials say thousands of people on the ship may be at risk. 11 passengers and 10 crew members are showing symptoms. The ship's return has been delayed and test kits are being flown out to the ship. 11 Americans have now died from the coronavirus, and there are now 133 cases in the U.S. So for context here, about 32 million Americans have had the flu since October. Here in Georgia, there are still only 2 confirmed coronavirus cases. They're a father and his 15-year-old son in Fulton County. The Living Science Homeschool Study Center confirmed the 15-year-old did attend class there last Wednesday in Cherokee County. Fulton County health officials say the teen showed symptoms on Thursday, the day after. Administrators say the state contacted families of children who went to the same class that day. Those families are now being asked to voluntarily self-quarantine until March 12th. Living Science is also voluntarily shutting down until March 12th.